Thank you. Good morning to you all. Thank you, Sabine, for this nice introduction. I will be doing the talking while you're having breakfast. That's how the foundation is treating ITU Secretary General, so I will not have breakfast today. But I'm delighted to be here. As you know, I'm here especially for tomorrow's big event of Girls in ICT Day. And I'm very truly honored that there are three very good role models, women here, Sabine herself, and Linda and Erica, that I had the chance to all meet and had a very high respect for. And of course some other ladies here, and I'm sure all the men here in this room are also very much supportive to this idea of promoting women in the ICT field. It is something that is very high on the ITU agenda, and our plenipotentiary conference in 2010 has given us some very strong resolutions that we need to implement in this area, and we are very much delighted of the presence also of so many private sector members here. As you know, ITU is proud of its affiliation with private sector. We have over 700 private sector companies that are members of the union as full members, because the only difference between private sector and our member states is when it comes to voting. And most of the technical work in the union, that is the main task of the union, is done by private sector, and we are very much delighted that they are here, and they are very strong partners of ITU. And they have been also very much involved in the preparatory process of the WTPF. But before I come to WTPF, let me say two words about WICIT, and I had an extensive discussion yesterday on it already. I want to just say clearly that WICIT was being misportrayed by many people as something that will be dealing with content, that will be dealing with internet governance. It is not part of ITU's mandate. It's not in my mandate for the next 4 years until the next plenipotentiary conference, and has never been the case. And there was no suggestion of such in the last plenipotentiary conference in 2010. And therefore, even if internet governance was assigned to ITU today, I wouldn't know how to do it. And I don't have the team, the equipment, nor the knowledge necessary in-house to do it, and nor the funding from my members. And therefore, it would be completely a unnecessary decision to bring it that way. Talks were about freedom of speech, which is very important, and freedom of expression. Those are very important issues, but again, those are dealt by some other agencies in the UN family. What the ITU is dealing with is infrastructure that is carrying those signals that we're working on. And people were trying to oppose the telecommunication world with the internet world unnecessarily, because those two societies are working one hand in hand. They are complementary, and really we have enough on our job on the task in ITU in terms of spectrum management that we've been doing all these years, in terms of managing and coordinating the satellites, in terms of making global standards for fibers, satellites, and other types of signals, be it radio, television, telephony, or internet. Because some standards like XDSL that enables you to access internet through wire lines are ITU standards, and they're making it compatible for you. And out of the 2.5 billion people accessing internet today, more than 80% of them are accessing it through mobile devices and mobile phones. And we wouldn't want our customers to have to make a choice between their mobile phone and the internet. because they need both. It's not a matter of choice. Why should we embarrass our customers for that? So it was really a necessary fight that some people were bringing on the ITU ground and making ITU the target. Our membership were fighting on some issues, and some of them are derailing it and targeting ITU as such. It shouldn't be. We're a platform for discussion, intellectual debates, and those debates can take place without having to blow up the platform itself. So I just wanted to make that very clear again and restate that. And it is no one single minute there was an intention from ITU, and certainly I think I've shown that very well during the debates in Dubai, that it was not really something that we were equipped for dealing with. I only have 3 lawyers in ITU, 3 in total. If their task is one is dealing with our contracts and procurements, the other one is dealing with internal UN and other staff matters, the other one is dealing with our constitution and convention. That's all. And if they were to be distracted by some user issues relating to human rights and freedom of speech and other things, which are very important, some other UN agencies would call me and say, Hamadoun, why are you doing my job? There are some UN agencies well equipped and assigned to dealing with human rights and freedom of speech issues, and they are doing their job very well. And their job is complementary to mine, and we should continue to work that way. So I would like to really beg you again and try to help us build that bridge, that was the message that I've been passing all the time before Dubai and during the conference. Please help us build bridges between the telecommunication and internet worlds. They need each other. It's as simple as that. We have some companies here like AT&T, BT, and others who are the ones that are the networks. They're providing the networks that enables internet access, and they need not to be opposed. Where I have a mobile phone, I have a mobile phone in my pocket. What do I need? Do I have to choose this? Because it's not a phone anymore. It's a television. It's a radio. It's an organizer. It's a address book. Soon it's going to be a wallet. When it becomes a wallet, will the banks own it? No. It's as simple as that. People need to have those things, and they want to have it at the lowest cost and when they need it. And therefore, we need to work together to make sure that we set up the right environment for that. And really, we will be spreading our efforts too much if we continue the debates in the direction that will not necessarily help us move forward. What we deal with is the infrastructure. The infrastructure that, of course, will carry that content for you to know that you have to know the characteristics of those of the content in terms of signaling, and that's all our people are dealing with. And I hope that we have made enough effort in emphasizing the need for broadband accessibility. And that's why I created the Broadband Commission for Digital Development 3 years ago. And when I created it, I actually invited the Director General of UNESCO to join me so that together we address the issue, because my constituencies will be dealing with the infrastructure of broadband, and her constituency will be dealing with the content in terms of education, science, and culture. I had a similar commission with the WHO Director General, where their constituency will be dealing with health for women and children's health. And my constituency is dealing with the infrastructure side. So those are things that are complementary, and we're trying really to do that so that we don't really unnecessarily spread our efforts on many things. So please, again, help us build that bridge that is necessary. In Dubai, I invited Fadi Shihadi, the CEO of ICANN. I'm happy my friends from ICANN are here, to come and speak at the opening of the conference so that nobody will doubt any issue. I put in the Ban Ki-moon's speech, Mr. the Secretary General of United Nations, I of course drafted his speech, and he has accepted every single word that I put in there, which is addressing the freedom of speech and freedom of expression side, saying that in fact we didn't need to even to put it as we did in the preamble. We had to clarify that in the preamble to make things very clear to everyone. But we didn't need to do that because it's in our constitution. It's in the UN Charter. So our member states are already should be abiding by that. But we restated it simply to make it a little more clear. And our team of legal advisors, of course, analyze also the text, because we know EU will be doing the same thing very soon to see if it's in contradiction. We hope that they will find the same finding, that it will not be in contradiction with EU's laws. And if membership still have the opportunity to express that to make those clarifications necessary if they want to adhere to it. So I hope that we'll not have a dual track convention or a treaty. Those who would not adhere to it would have to still be bound by the 1988 treaty, and it will be unfortunate. And there are many good things in it there. I invite everyone to look at it. There are many good things. This is a very small document, 9 pages. Very light touch. I was advocating light touch regulation, because in our industry we really need to have a very light touch regulation. Regulation, yes, but light touch, because too much prescriptive regulation will be killing the industry. And Europe needs it now also, a light touch regulation. Europe is the one suffering. Your industry has over 1,200 companies. It's too much spread. They will have to go through mergers and consolidation soon, so that they can face the big giants in the world, from China or from US. Otherwise, they will not survive. I hope that the regulation in the EU here will help move that forward. And part of the debate during the WTPF, which I'm coming to now, will enable us probably to discuss those issues and move it forward. The WTPF will be convened by our members from 14 to 16 May, an event that I'm personally looking very forward to. ITU has been very successful in an influential and a neutral global convener throughout our long history, and we're firm believers that only open, transparent, and inclusive process will lead the way into successful policy making. This is why we continue to act as bridge builders, promoting a multi-stakeholder approach to dealing with telecommunication and ICTs. Wiki 13, WTPF, I have Wiki still in mind. WTPF 13 provides a global forum for our members to examine global internet-related public policy matters at their request. And let me take this opportunity to stress here that WTPF is a forum, not a treaty-making conference. We had the last WTPF in Portugal in 2009, and it came with a number of opinions. It's not a treaty. The WTPF exists precisely so because we can have a global debate on key issues in the world of ICTs. WTPF 13 is therefore a unique opportunity to air the issues as they are seen among fellow experts. And the forum will enable all stakeholders to contribute their unique perspectives to the discussions and help the global community chart a common course forward. The preparatory process towards WTPF 13 has been open and inclusive. It was led by an informal expert group that I created. It was open to all stakeholders, irrespective of whether or not they are members of ITU. The multi-stakeholder expert group concluded its third and final meeting in February and approved a number of draft opinions by consensus. For further discussion at the Policy Forum next month, and this will include promoting internet exchange points as a long-term solution to advance connectivity, fostering an enabling environment for the greater growth of development of broadband connectivity. And again, this is one of the resolutions that were in December in Dubai. Of course, that was issue for a lot of unnecessary discussions, giving the impression that we had the intention of taking over the internet, while it's the only time the word internet was used actually in the whole treaty, and in this resolution, which is not part of the treaty actually, but the resolution was to create an enabling environment for the greater growth of internet. And it was talking about broadband, because broadband will make that growth available. And this time, we're not even mentioning the internet here, but broadband connectivity. Supporting multi-stakeholderism in internet governance is also one of the opinions that have been expressed. Supporting operationalizing the enhanced cooperation process. Supporting capacity building for the deployment of IPv6. And supporting the transition from IPv4 to V6. These opinions cover a wide range of internet-related global public policy issues of significant relevance in today's world, and I'm confident that they will serve as a good basis for fruitful, high-level discussions at WTPF 13. The views contained in these opinions address some of the key policy issues arising from today's fast-changing information and communication technology environment in a constructive and forward-looking manner, which is precisely the intended purpose of WTPF. Ladies and gentlemen, let me go on into a little more detail concerning some of the silent points in the draft opinions. The first draft opinion concerns Internet Exchange Points, NIXPs, and invites member states and sector members to work together to promote the further development and expansion of networks to enable the emergence of internet exchange points and to promote public policy aimed at permitting internet network operators to interconnect through IXPs. The second draft opinion concerns the fostering of enabling environment for the greater growth of broadband and invite member states to promote widespread affordable access and review their regulatory frameworks. And the whole Dubai conference was about that. How do we make sure that we make enough incentives so that there will be investment in the infrastructure that will carry the traffic? As I said, there are 2.5 billion people connected to the internet today. It means that it's only 1/3 of human population. Imagine if the remaining 2/3 come in. Traffic will not just be multiplied by 3. It will be exponential growth. It will be multiplied by more than a factor of 10. If the current infrastructure will not be able to carry that traffic, and our judgment is that it is necessary to make enough incentives so that private sector continues to compete and invest in this. But for private sector to invest, it has to be profit making, and there's nothing wrong with that. I've been advocating that, and I personally, I'm probably the first Secretary General of ITU who not only have a private sector background, but I came straight from private sector to ITU. And guess what? I'm going back there next year, at the end of the year. It's true. And when I was running for the post, I was running with the fact saying that I'm from private sector, I must be good. And member state trusted me and elected me and re-elected me again for a second term. I'm very proud of that. And I've been emphasizing the need of that working relationship. But making profit, when I'm meeting heads of state in developing countries, I'm telling them, why don't you put in your speech in this? When I'm bringing business leaders to meet with those heads of state, I tell them, please tell me in your speech that making profit in your country is not a crime. And they always ask me, why you want to say that? I said, because I have business leaders here. I've been telling them that they trust me, but they would like to trust you more. They want to hear it from you. And we did it in many occasions during Connect Africa Summit in 2007 in Kigali. I asked all of the heads of states who came to say that. They all said it. As a result, we had about 250 business leaders there. They committed over $55 billion investment, not donations. I was telling them, Africans, as a fellow African, for the past 50 years of independence, our development model was based on 3 words: help, assistance, and charity. And it didn't work. For 50 years, if you try something, it doesn't work, for God's sake, you try something else. I said, give these people the opportunity to come and invest. They will invest and make profits, but they will create jobs and they will give opportunities, new services and applications. And your people will be happier, richer, because they'll be working. And guess what? They will re-elect you again. And everybody will win. And they had that. And the $55 billion committed for 5 years will probably be soon making the evaluation. I'm sure it will be over 70 billion actually investment in the telecommunication infrastructure in Africa. As you know, there has been a phenomenal growth in there. So that relationship is very important, and we have a very clear message in it. And the third draft opinion concerning the development of IPv6, I think that's something that our member states always wanted to promote and facilitate for the fastest possible adoption and migration to IPv6 from our members. ITU, through standardization and development sectors, has been actively working with member states in this area through collaboration with regional internet registries, regional and national academic institutions, the private sector, and other stakeholders. The fourth draft opinion concerns the migration from IPv4 to IPv6 and stresses the urgency of this issue, as well as the importance of making optimal use of IPv4 addresses. I think those are very important issues that will help us really move this forward, and those things will address the issues of economies of scales as well. The fifth draft opinion concerns supporting multi-stakeholderism in internet governance and invites member states and other stakeholders to ensure that the governance of the internet is a multi-stakeholder process, enabling all parties to continue to benefit from the internet and to focus on how, in particular, the participation of developing countries' stakeholders can be assured. This opinion reiterates what I have been saying for some time now, that the ITU has been a multi-stakeholder from its inception, and that it has the success of the multi-stakeholder approach within ITU that inspired the multi-stakeholder principles agreed during the World Summit on Information Society, that you were very much strong participants back in 2003 and 2005, Geneva and Tunis. And it was the first time a UN organization was organizing a summit without demonstrations outside. Why would you demonstrate outside if you can come inside and talk? And that's exactly what happened. And I think it's probably the only one since still. Finally, the sixth draft opinion concerns supporting the operationalization of the enhanced cooperation process, recognizing that international cooperation and support is essential for bringing the benefit of the internet to all of the people of the world, in particular developing and less developed countries, and reaffirming the need for enhanced cooperation to enable governments to develop international internet-related public policy in consultation with all the stakeholders. As you will know, Europe has been very active through the preparatory process for WTPF 13, with the chair of the informal group, Mr. Petko Kanchev from Bulgaria, leading the group, which with great ability, and the European private sector and civil society both being well represented. In addition to the panelists here today, the European Commission, BT and ICANN, they were all part of the informal expert group. We are confident that Europe will continue to play a very constructive role in the discussions at the forum. And after wide consultation, I have decided to propose the minister of the former Yugoslav Republic of Macedonia, Ivo Ivanovski. He's a young, bright minister, and I thought that he could be chairing the WTPF, given his very clear commitment, and he's a member of the Broadband Commission, and he has a very good vision of this to be chairing the conference, and I'm confident he will guide us the work very successfully. On 13 May, we also, the day before the WTPF begins, we will be hosting a high-level strategic dialogue to discuss the importance of investment in infrastructure and the changing nature of ICT regulation. Of course, this will be a prelude to our meeting global regulators in July in Warsaw, where we'll have the 13th GSR, and all the regulatory authorities will come, and we hope that we will be able to have something very a good contribution on that conference. The focus will be on broadband, and we have planned 2 sessions to discuss different facets of this issue. The first session, building out broadband, will explore the broadband revolution and will examine the role of broadband as critical infrastructure in the modern global economy. One of the key questions which will be explored at this session will be, is broadband internet access today a basic need, a public utility, a fundamental right, or privilege? I hope that people will not say it is right, because we define it as a need internally, so that we don't get into all of those discussions of human rights or other things, because it's a tool to have access to those things. When you have freedom of expression as a human right, now that vehicle that enables you to have to express that, is that also a right or a need? That's something is there, and we don't want to be involved in that philosophical debates, but we want to make sure that the issue will throw the ball and see how our members will discuss it. The second session, broadband driving development, will consider the benefits of broadband for accelerating development, and will consider the application of broadband infrastructure and services for improving people's lives and accelerating the achievement of the MDGs. One of the crucial challenges facing the ICT sector is the surging growth of data. I should say data including video as well, voice video as well, because even voice is data now. It's transformed into data before it's sent. So therefore, we have this convergence. We need to really look at this issue. That is putting a lot of pressure on telecom networks. Government and industry must therefore work together to ensure that emerging business models ensure sufficient return on investment made on the networks. So we also need to clarify who pays for what. Issue comes down to money, unfortunately. It has to be profitable, but somebody has to pay at the end of a line. I don't believe when someone tells me something is free. Somebody is paying for it somewhere. And that's something that we need to really agree on, so that we really be very, very frank. Whatever your views, one thing is certain: this is a question worth asking and a question that requires answering. It is critical for all of us that the right balance should be reached, because some people ask, always asking this question, and we need to actually make sure that there is a right balance in everything we do, so that and there's a clarity in it. Some say that some will say that the market will fix it. Don't touch it; the market will fix it. Some say, others are calling for a larger role of regulation to set a level playing field. We're saying there's a need of a light touch regulation, but we put the issue there for debate. I hope that you will all be there, so that you bring in your perspective in this. I will not go on to some of the details of the logistics of the conference here, but I will hope to have an opportunity to, in a question and answer session, to also say a few words. Thank you very much again.